Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 105th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The first thing I'd like to say is I hope you all had a great Christmas and great Boxing Day. I hope Santa bought everything that you wanted, and I hope that it was a great family time for you. Okay, the team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Mystique, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. Then we have Brotherhood member Killer B, who's called himself Santa B here, but it's actually Brotherhood member Killer B. And then we have Brotherhood member Spartan Leonidas, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. And then myself, Spartan Commander, who has also bought the SBQR faction there. So there's our team, full of experience, lots of great players there. But you wait till you see the other team. I think this has got the ingredients to be a classic battle. This should be a great one for you to watch. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Brotherhood member Killer's B unusual Pilot Shield unit. As you can see there, he's actually bought peasants. Now peasants have got very low morale and have got no defence, hardly any defence at all, and aren't usually used, but they will soak up pilers as good as any other unit. As long as you can keep them standing their ground, they'll just take the pilers, and that will save your more expensive units being damaged by the enemy pilers. People used to bring peasants quite a lot at one time as like an additional pilot shield, but you don't see them much on the battlefield these days, so nice to see some old school by Killer. And here is the other team. We have OTD RVE Copsman, who has bought the Macedon faction. Then we have Titans Hades, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Then we have Titans Mohammed, who has also bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then we have Greeks Clansman Cleomenes, who has bought the Greek Cities faction there. So there's the other team there. I'm sure all RTW players watching this will recognise them as being great players. So as I said, this should be a good battle to watch. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at the enemy team here. As I've said in other battle videos, the Greeks clan's ambition was to be the best clan on RTW with pikes, and they certainly achieved that through practicing for hours and hours and hours. And to see a Greeks clansman bringing the Greek cities with those elite Spartan troops in them certainly is a real challenge. Somebody that can handle the Spartans really well, as you can see here, with their 2 hit points, someone that can handle them very well is a challenge in itself. Especially with one of the Greeks clansmen in charge of them. It should be interesting to see how well they do. Then we have the Titans Mohammed here, a great and well respected player on RTW, and a regular player of RTW too, the same as Cleomenes. And then we have Titans Hades, another well respected and really good player on RTW, and also a regular as well. And then we have the OTD Copsman, who is also a regular player on RTW. So that's having a closer look at the enemy team there. They're all regular players and they're all well respected players. This should be an exciting battle to watch. I thought at this stage of the battle we'd have a look at the Brotherhood team here. And here you can see here's Brotherhood member Mystique. Mystique has been in the Brotherhood for approximately 5 years and is a well-known RTW player and has been playing RTW for years. Then we have Brotherhood member Killer B. I think he's been in the Brotherhood for about 7 years, and he's a really well-known and well-respected player. And then we have Brotherhood member Spartan Leonidas, also a very well-known player who's been in the Brotherhood for a long time. And then myself on the end, who's been playing Rome Total War right from the first day it came out. So that's our team there. Unfortunately, we don't play that much, we've got the experience in years, but I wonder if we've lost our edge because we don't play much these days against these this enemy team who do play regularly. I just hope that we'll be able to give them a good battle. This should be an interesting game for you to watch. Let's see what happens. This early stage of the battle, you can see that we're actually lining up, squaring up to each other. As you can see, at the moment I'm facing the Greek cities, but my my ally Spartan Leonidas has bought an army that he's built especially to fight Greek cities. I think he's got 18 infantry and only 2 cavalry. So we're trying to switch positions at the moment, so he'll be able to actually face the Greek cities there. As you can see, we were almost caught in the flank there by the Greek cities and the enemy Scipio infantry there as we were changing. We kind of left it a bit late to change there, and that old saying, we could have come a cropper there if we'd have been hit in the flank as we were changing. But now we've actually got the armies where we want them now. Leonidas SL is now facing the Greek cities, and I'm up in the left centre now. You'll find that a lot of Roman generals will bring bigger infantry armies when they're facing pike factions. As you can see over here on the right flank, it seems to be quite quiet at the moment. Just as I say, sizing each other up, probably thinking of what the next move would be. I can see a lot of enemy cavalry though down on our left flank there, if you see, and with the Greek cities being used as an offensive attacking force, especially those Spartans, they can be a force to be reckoned with. And with all that cavalry down there as well, enemy cavalry down there as well, it wouldn't surprise me if this battle kind of kicked off on our left flank. As you can see, there's a panoramic overview of both armies there, all the armies looking at each other. And if you've noticed here that Brotherhood member Spartan Leonidas has actually put his forward units into testudo. Now that's kind of a common defence against being attacked by pikes. It actually slows the pike units down there, makes it harder for them to penetrate into the Roman lines. So any new players watching that, that's kind of a standard tactic you'll notice that a lot of RTW players use when being attacked by pike units there. If you notice here, the enemy Scipio cavalry come out in a threatening way to our left flank. If you notice, I'm bringing my cavalry out there to challenge them, knowing that I was backed up by some infantry units there. Can you see my allies SBQ infantry units there? And if you notice, the enemy Scipio cavalry backed off from that very threatening position there. Once again, there you have the overall panoramic view of what's actually happening on the battlefield. As you can see over on our far right flank, there doesn't appear to be a lot going on there, but here on our left flank here, you can see that the Spartans are attacking there. They're attacking our allies' testudo units there. But if you notice that Cleomenes only committed a few infantry units to the attack when he's got the bulk of his force in reserve. So here's a close-up, trying to show you a close-up of the Spartans actually attacking the Roman testudo there. Here's a close-up of them actually trying to break up the testudo. I think what the pikes try and do, they try and break the testudo up, and then as the men come out of testudo, they then get killed by the Greek cities. But as you can see there, those testudo units are certainly slowing down the Greeks. If they were just in ordinary formation, those Greeks would have probably penetrated into the Roman ranks by now. So, as I say, new players watching this, testudo is quite a good idea. If you notice now that the Greek cities general has moved one of his Spartan units up a little bit now and is attacking my left flank. Once again, there you can see the Spartans actually attacking the Roman testudo there. As you can see, the testudo is where it's a real formation that Romans used to use, where they used to cover all their men with their shields, so they were protected from archer fire and also protected from infantry attack as well. It was like a little bit like a small tank, really. You can see I'm charging my SPQR cavalry in there, with the hope of routing maybe one or two of those enemy Scipio units, but I can see the enemy Scipio cavalry has come over now, so it's time for me to back out, get away before I get hit by that fresh cavalry. And also I can see some enemy Greek city pike units coming over as well. So of course those of you that's watched other battle videos of mine know that you don't tangle cavalry with pikes, because what usually happens is the cavalry will come off worse and you won't have inflicted much casualties on the pikes. As you can see, Spartan Leonidas here is using his experience and taking units around the flank of those pike units. As those of you that's watched other battle videos of mine know that Roman generals don't really like to fight pike units head on. Really the only time we like to do that is if you're going to hold a pike unit in one place, where you move infantry around the flank to get either into a flanking attack or a rear attack. So SL is trying to get around the flank there. Nice little move by him. And he's holding those Spartans really well there, because when Spartans attack, they've got a massive attack on them, so he's doing extremely well. Meanwhile, over on our right flank,
the leader of allies has
you see our allies just lost his cavalry general there, so the morale of his troops will drop somewhat, but we'll just have to see what happens there. But over on the right flank, you see there's not a lot going on at the moment. Most of the action seems to be on the left flank. You can see there's a lot of enemy cavalry coming over onto our left as well. If you notice that Leonidas, those units that he was moving around the flank of those Greek cities, he has now brought back to face the threat of the cavalry. That was nice battlefield awareness there by Leonidas. And as I said before, he's doing really well to hold those Spartans. The attack on the Spartans, when used properly, is phenomenal, really, and they can... if he just had his army in normal formation, those Spartans would have been right into the heart of his formation now. So those testudos are really doing the trick at the moment. See, there's a big cavalry hit waiting out there to come in opposite my army there. You can see a lot of my forward units are already engaged. Some of them have been routed, so there's not a lot of my army left there at the moment. So a few big cavalry hits there might cause our team some trouble. You notice my teammates, both Killer B and Spartan Leonidas, have sent reinforcements over to help me, because they've spotted there could be some trouble here as well. So once again, those of you that's watched other battle videos of mine will know how important it is to have great teamwork and help your teammates out when there's problems. You see that Macedonian cavalry charging through? Right, I'm just going to pause the game here because I want to show some new players something here that you might not know. Friendly spears will kill friendly cavalry. So did you notice that Macedon cavalry charged through his ally's Spartan unit there? But just before he made contact with that Spartan unit, his Spartan ally general upped spears. He actually put his spears up to allow the Macedon cavalry to charge through that unit to hit the enemy without incurring any casualties by the friendly pike unit. And that is great teamwork and great timing there by the enemy team there. Just before that Macedon cavalry went through the back of that friendly pike unit, he upped his pikes to allow that those cavalry units to smash through. So remember that friendly pikes will kill friendly cavalry. So that was a great bit of timing there. And new players watching this, you know, please take note. That is a great bit of timing and a great bit of battlefield awareness there, and show great skill. And allowed that cavalry charge to go through and do the damage that they wanted. Let's see what happens next. As you can see, that Macedon, those Macedon cav units really smashed in there and probably caused a heck of a lot of casualties to our team. But if that Spartan unit had remained with its pikes down, you could have probably got a lot of casualties in their own cavalry there. So that was a great move. As you can see, we're counter-attacking with our cavalry now. And bang! See all that cavalry smash into the enemy lines there. You can see a few of the enemy units starting to rout. But if you notice, there's I think there's a Greek cities units there. I don't want to tangle my cavalry head on with any Spartan units. So I'm going to pull. We're all pulling our cavalry back at this stage. But if you notice, the battle now seems to be at its fiercest where my army is at the moment. And a lot of my units have been severely weakened. Several of them have routed, and there's not a lot. There's a lot of my units left in that particular area. And if you notice, there's loads of cavalry, enemy cavalry, ready to attack. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and pull my infantry back and regroup and rally, get them set, and then put them back into the line. Because at the moment, they're kind of, if you notice, a lot of my units are distorted, kind of all over the place, and could easily be picked off by cavalry attacks from the flank or straight on. But I'm going to pull them back, rally them, reform them, and then put them back in the line. If you notice here on our left flank, you see Leonidas has brought his infantry round the flank of the Greek cities, probably with a view to getting around even further if he can. But if you notice that the enemy are bringing cavalry over to counter that. So Leonidas now is pulling his infantry back, seeing the danger of the cavalry. Once again, nice move there by both sides. So as you can see at the moment through this battle, it seems to be the main action is here on the left flank and the left centre. This is where most of the action is actually happening here. If you notice, my teammate Killer B has brought infantry over to help me cover out there. You can see this cavalry hit going in by Mystique, and bang! Wouldn't surprise me if that, in the combination of Killer's infantry and my infantry charging in, could cause a few enemy units to rout there. As you can see, I think a couple of the enemy units have routed there. Nice little surprise cavalry hit there by our ally. There you can see a lot of the enemy troops are routing now. You can see even some of the Greek city units, the Spartan units with their excellent morale, are starting to rout as well there. So really well done. That was a great combination of my team's hits there in caused that massive rout there of the enemy engaged enemy troops there. You see there's a big massive enemy cavalry hit coming in. And then we're going to do a counter charge with our cavalry as well there. So it seems to me that the left centre is the place where the action is going to be at the moment. Notice how we use our cavalry to charge in, get the full cavalry charge bonus, and then pull back. We don't want to hang around fighting infantry, we just want to get that massive charge bonus and pull back. If you notice there, pulled the cavalry back and are now charging in again. Unfortunately though, you can see that there are some enemy Greek cities Spartan pike units coming over, so that's going to kind of blunt any cavalry attack that we want to put in over there at the moment if they keep bringing them over. But he's pulled those units back at the moment, and now he's put them in again, charging them in again. So we have to be very careful with our cavalry with pike units coming in on the flank. As you can see, there's cavalry hit after cavalry hit going in here. That is some massive cavalry hits going in. Unfortunately, I've only got a few infantry units left myself now, and they are all severely battle damaged. Let's just pause the game here to take stock of the situation. As you can see on our left flank here, you can see the enemy Scipii cavalry are engaged with SL's infantry that were flanking. You can see there's still Greek city units fighting our allies' SBQR army. Here in the left centre, you can see things are really... this is a massive battle area here of the battlefield. And unfortunately, as I said, I've only got a few units left, and they're quite severely battle damaged. So I'm just hoping that I'll be able to hold there with my allies against... as I can see, there's still some cavalry units about to charge in there as well. So, but if you notice, that was great teamwork by my allies, coming over to help at the time of need, at the most stressful part of the battlefield there, to help me out there. Because as you see, most of my units are extremely battle damaged, and I don't think I'd be able to hold very much longer there. Here you can see the Macedon, enemy Macedon pikemen there are engaged with our allies' Brutii army there. And over here on our right, you can see that Titans Hades with his Scipii army are engaged with, I think it's Mystique's infantry there up on the right. So that's the overall picture. Let's see what happens now. As you can see, a lot of the Greek city units have started to rout now. And to rout Greek cities units takes a lot, because those of you that might not know, they've actually got excellent morale and have got 2 hit points and are extremely difficult to kill. And used properly, they can be a really effective attacking force as well. And Cleomenes used them extremely well in that battle. But most of the Greek cities units now have been routed. As you see now, we can now bring over our victorious armies from the left into the centre now to reinforce our centre.
The general has thrown away his life, and now he feeds the carrion birds. His men
as you can see now, there's a lot of the enemy units routing now, because they've been hit by the rear, from the rear and the flank, by our forces that have just won on the left hand side there. So we're sweeping across the battlefield from left to right now.
Gods be praised. The enemy general,
as you can see, the enemy Scipii infantry have rallied some of his infantry units, and are trying to make a bit of a stand at the rear there. The Macedon, enemy Macedon pike units are still trying to engage our forces there, holding them. And if you notice, over on our right flank, I think it's Titans Hades is bringing infantry units over to support the centre, to try and hold us back from getting over to his forces there. But if you notice now, I think the enemy, most of the enemy centre, well, the left flank and the left centre enemy armies have been taken out. If you notice there that I think it was Killer Bees just charged cavalry into the back of those Macedon pike units. Wouldn't surprise me if they routed. And if the Macedon general actually routes, then I would think they wouldn't belong to the whole Macedon army routes, because the Macedon morale is not very good, and if their general gets killed, then there you go. Then the Macedon general's morale has just dropped. He's just been killed there. So the morale of the rest of his infantry will now drop.
The enemy general is killed.
There's a few Macedon units left, but it's mostly just Titans, Hades, Scipii infantry and cavalry that's left over on our far right flank there. And he's putting up a really good battle there. But looking at how many of our troops, infantry and cavalry are left, I would think it would probably only be a matter of time before we manage to defeat the last of the enemy Scipii infantry there. I'd just like to say, I think he's making a good last stand there on our right flank. If you look at all of our troops in comparison to what he's got, I think he's lasting out very well there. But gradually you can see Scipio units starting to rout. Yeah, you can just see a few more starting to rout there now, so I wouldn't think it'd be long now till the last of the enemy
general is
Scipio units
his men fear us. It is time to
wiped
press
out.
the attack.
I'd just like to show you the dead on the battlefield here. I think that you can see how intense the fighting was. Look at this area here. I think this was in front of where my army was. Can you see the massive amount of dead piled up there? That was one heck of a part of the battlefield that was really intense there. And you can see us from the battlefield, actually the dead stretched from one side to the other, with that massive lump there though. That was amazing there. And as you see over here, over on the right flank, there's a lot of dead too. So
our soldiers have gained victory today.
As you can see, it was an extremely intense battle. As you see, I think my general unit had 16 men left. Right, so I'd just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game. That was a really great battle to be in, a very interesting battle to be in as well. Lots of really good moves going on there. What I'd like to say is that if you notice that Killer B, or Santa B as he's called himself there, has got some really great kills. And that's because if you notice, he was aggressive all over the battlefield. His cavalry were attacking everywhere, his infantry were attacking everywhere, and that's why he's got such great kills. Remember, if you want great kills, aggression, attacking will get you those great kills. Obviously don't go flat out attacking, you have to know what you're doing, but aggression gets you the great kills. And if you notice there, I've got very low kills, and that's because if you notice, for most of the battle I was defensive. I was just playing defensive, trying to hold in that left centre position against those massive hits. So my army wasn't attacking, that's why I've got such low kills. But just like I say, really well played to everybody in the game. Some really great moves. I think the experience and was really paramount there in the end, and it was an exciting game to be in. This is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.